Hello, welcome back. A new video, guys. And following with the saga of X-Men. In this occasion, we are going to talk about X-Men 2, the second part of this saga of movies that was released in 2003. Actually, I'm thinking that the first one of the 2000 and this, the second, are my favorites. The first one because it's the introduction to the history of the comics, and it's the introduction of Wolverine into the mansion, how he met them, how he's a rogue, and it kind of explains you how the mutants feel, in the human world or human society. And the second one, I like it a lot because um, there are more action scenes. I think it's crazy. First of all, it starts with a super action scene of Nightcrawler. This guy, I don't know what the hell he is. He is pretty like Mystique, but I got the feeling he's something like a reptilian too, because Mystique is pretty much like a reptilian creature, right? And Nightcrawler, I don't know. I also like his personage, his character, because he's very funny. These two, and also the one that was launching. I think I saw this one in the movie theater. I don't know how. Oh, what's the name? I think it's X-Men First Class or X-Men Apocalypse. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's one of this. I'm gonna put the name here, but I like this one very much because in these movies that are more of these decades, more new, like they put too much humor scenes. Like for example, like Quicksilver saving all the guys. Quicksilver saving all the students from the mutant mansion when he's like when there's this explosion. I like these scenes, are very funny. He literally saved everyone, even the dog. But anyways, let's start with this video. And please, first of all, don't forget subscribing, leaving your thumbs up, commenting which character were your favorite, which of all the saga movies, even the movies made with a whole different cast. Let me know which one is your favorite. So this movie is basically about, of course, destroying humanity again. But in this occasion, the villain is a man called Stryker, who is a military leader that built a cerebro machine in the complex of the installations of Alkali Lake Dam. And he is part of the history of Logan, because he kidnapped him at some point of his life. And he is the one that insert all this indestructible iron in his body, in Logan's body, for he to have these clowns coming out of his feet. And he's also the creator of surgeon or interventionist of what's the name of this lady? Lethal Lady, I think that's his name. Little Lady. I'm gonna put his name anyways here in a sticker, in a tag. Who is literally like Logan, but the difference is that her clowns come out from her fingers, kind of like Freddy Krueger, kind of. Okay, and guys, sorry by the way. I hope you don't mind the change of lighting that you will see in this video, but it's because the introduction of this video, the one that I'm doing right now, was not saved, in the memory of my dispositive yesterday that I taped this video, so I have to make the introduction again. Okay, I hope you like this video. Please. I hope I don't bore you because I'm gonna give you first the resume, and after my favorite scenes of this movie, my point of view, and the reviews the movie had in those years. So Stryker has facilities in the military facilities in the Alkali Lake Dam, where he's planning to build a machine like Cerebro, like exactly the same machine of Cerebro. In fact, actually he built it already with the purpose of destroying the humanity with the mind control, right? So in the movie, we can see that Wolverine gets back to the mansion looking for Charles in order to read his mind again and help him finding out his past, where Charles and Cyclops visits Magneto. Stryker and his militaries attack the mutants mansion, in order to, kidnap the mutants and to kill them, where Wolverine saved them along with Colossus. Logan escapes with Rogue, Pyro, and Iceman, Bobby, and they get to Boston, to Bobby's house. And in this scene, we see how Bobby's brother report them. In this scene, Bobby makes the revelation that he's a mutant, and his brother called the police. Oh my god, this scene, I just cannot believe it, how he called the police. His own brother, right? He called the police, and they, show up in the house. When they are trying to escape, Pyro, lose control or takes out the villain, is inside him and start attacking the cops, and while all this is happening, Rogue touches him, absorbing his powers to freeze what he's turning into flames. All this occurs while Charles already gave instructions to Storm and Jean Grey to locating Nightcrawler to find out why did he attack the White House. So they get them, they go after Nightcrawler, they go after Nightcrawler, and then they go rescuing Bobby, Logan, and Pyro and Rogue into Bobby's house. In this scene, he leaves very sad. He departs like upset of the fact that his family like didn't, understand him and accept his condition of mutant. So they leave. They leave Bobby's house or neighborhood. They fly to a wood. While they're flying, directing themselves to the ugly lake, they are attacked by missiles ordered by Stryker, this evil military leader. And Jean tried to, Jean Grey tried to avoid them, but one of both end up targeting the jet, and they are rescued by Magneto, levitating the jet when it was about to crash. So Magneto saves them. They land. They have like a camping, and while they are arguing, they are reunited. Exchange information. Magneto, aka the villains team, Magneto, Mystique, and Frog, with a good team, and they get to the conclusion that Stryker is meaning to use the second Cerebro he built in the Alkali Lake facilities to kill the humans. Sorry, in this movie, Frog is dead. Frogman is only Magneto and Mystique. So when all this was happening, all this happened while Scott and the Professor Xavier were visiting Magneto in the prison. And in this prison, before they get into Magneto's jail or something like that, they are attacked by Stryker workers, and Charles is kidnapped by Stryker in order to use him for the Cerebro machine, and he, with his telepathic powers, murder the humanity using Cerebro. Cyclops gets to escape from Stryker, and he reunites with the mutants at the camp. At the camping they did in the woods, and then after Mystique, before they reunite, like they met in the camp, and before Magneto saves the jet that is about to crash, and before he gets to escape, Mystique, with her shape-shifting powers, she transformed into a very seductive woman, research or figure out where did Magneto guard hang out on the weekends, I guess. And she seduces him in this bar that he frequent, and put some like pills with any kind of sleeping content, like something to make you sleep, analgesics, or sleeping pills. So while these men fall asleep in the bedrooms, when they're like getting turned on and whatever, she injects him with iron, and it's like a huge injection of iron. It's crazy, but this is a movie, right? So anything can happen. The next day, when Tisgard is about to give Magneto his lunch or dinner, Magneto started talking with him, and he at some point tells him, Mr. and he says his name, you never have to trust in a beautiful woman that is interested in you. While he started absorbing the iron from his body, killing him, right? Because this scene is so amazing for those years, for when this movie was launched. Like, he's literally, with his power, absorbing the iron in his body. So he fall dead, and Magneto used these 3 balls of metal to create like a thing, like a plate, where he stepped on, and he escaped to jail. They all arrive after to the Alkali Lake. Bobby, Rogue, and Pyro are ordered to remain in the jet since they are the youngers, while Jean, Storm, Cyclops, and Logan get into the facilities to look for Charles, the ex-professor, as well as Magneto. While they're in these facilities, all the fighting starts. The teams divide. Magneto, after looking for Xavier, the ex-professor, and the mutants, the Xmen, they go looking for the mutants that were kidnapped from the mansion. At some point, after they rescue the guys, Storm and Nightcrawler get into Cerebro when Stryker's son is using his illusion power to cheat Xavier, and for Xavier to start killing humans, right? So while all this is happening, Storm lowers the temperature of this place called Cerebro to freeze the liquid that Stryker's son put behind the ex-professor's neck, in order for the illusion effect goes away, and he stopped killing humans, right? While she is doing this, she's frozening basically to Stryker's son. And at some point, while Jean and Scott are waiting outside for the guys, for Storm and Nightcrawler to come back with the professor, Stryker creates an illusion for Scott to think that Jean Grey is someone else. So they start fighting, right? Um, Scott attack Jean Grey. Scott attacks Jean Grey, and with a laser thing, with one shot of the laser of Scott, he damaged severely like the Alkali Lake Dam. So after he, scratched some of the walls of the Alkali Dam, Cerebro on the inside started falling into pieces. She kind of messed it up, right? Because she cannot pilot. So when they are inside, and Jean realizes they cannot lift it, she makes a super tough decision of getting out the jet and using her telekinetic powers and mind powers to fly the jet, right? So basically she used the energy of the water strength, that is very strong, by the way. That is like a tsunami. And Scott and all the guys, like, they are super, like wary and trying to get her back with no succeed. And when she's doing all these movements of saving the jet, lifting the jet with the guys, she sent a message to the ex-professor, the dismissing message, telling them that there is no other way to be saved but like this, right? While Scott tells her to don't do it, she say goodbye. And she finally leaves the jet, put it to work, but she is smashed. She is smashed by this kind of tsunami, and she just died. Apparently, in this movie, in the third part of the movie, we will realize she didn't die, but in this movie, she's supposed to be dead. So the movie has this ending. This scene, oh my god, makes me cry. Like, maybe the first time I saw the movie, it didn't make me cry because I didn't feel like so attached to the characters like before. I wasn't that attached, or to the meaning of the characters or the movie. But with this scene, oh my god, I cry. Even nowadays, whenever I saw this scene, if I see it, I cry because it's like she acted like a mother to them, or like an aunt, somebody that loves them. And well, it was also her, like, kind of her responsibility, because no one else of the mutants could actually do this kind of, heroic action or gesture but her. She was the only one capacitated or able to do this, right? So the movie ends up with a scene where the Xmen mutants visit the White House and the president while he is giving a real stream transmission, and somehow they frozen the time when they are there. I think it's a professor, because I used to think that only Mystic. No, I used to think that only Jean could frozen the time, and actually no, like the ex-professor can do it too, because he's a psychic and telepathic powers. He has all these powers, right? So they frozen everyone there except for the president, and they give him the message that they are, like a brotherhood, and they have had lost on their sides too. Valuable loss like Jean Grey. In this scene, like, it's also meaningful because we can see, like many of them upset, evidently upset. Especially Scott is like crying kind of for the loss of Jean. So they are, like kind of giving him an advice. They are not threatening him, and they leave with a message that they will be watching him. And that's it. That's the end of this movie. And I think I like both the first one and the second. The third one, I think, is the only one that I didn't kind of like it, because in the third one is when the Phoenix, Jean Grey, transformed into the Phoenix. Like, she's a mutant that has this dual personality. She can be good, but she can be bad when the Phoenix, the spirit, let's say, or energy emerge from her, or is not under the control of the professor. The professor is, or if the professor is not suppressing, contrasting this. It's a kind of voice. It's like if she had a voice in her mind, or it's like if it was an evil spirit, kind of. That's how I will describe it when Jean transforms into the Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix. But yeah, these are my favorite movies. I don't know. I don't know which will be my favorite. I like both, the first one, the second one, and I like the newest, the one where Quicksilver appears, which is, and I'm gonna put the name here. I think it's Xmen New or First Generation, and the characters, the actors are all different. This one is one of my favorites too because it has many funny comic scenes. My favorite scenes of the second movie are when the first one is when they're in this kind of museum, I think, and they're having like an excursion with the guys, with the students, and it happens this argument between where it's Pyro, Bobby, and Rogue. It's dining in a table or hanging out in a table, and a guy gets close to them, flirting with Rogue, and I don't know. They kind of insult the mutants. They say something to Pyro, what the human is smoking, and Pyro do something with a cigarette that is just burning his mouth, And what Pyro is doing is everyone around, look at them like if they were freaks or monsters. And while all this is happening, Jean Grey realizes that something is going on, around in the coffee shop, and she frozen the time into the scene to escape, for they to get to escape before the police arrive. So this is one of my favorite scenes. And which other one? Oh, and the very first one where Nightcrawler is attacking the White House because it just has too much action. Like all the security guards are trying to shot him with no succeed, and he leave like a message with a knife for the president. And the other ones are when they go to, of course, they attack to the mansion, but also when Jean Grey and Storm go after Nightcrawler and they get him. And the ending scene is also like very extreme, but I don't like it. I think it's upsetting because it's when Jean Grey dies. She's literally dying to save the guys, and that's it. Those are my favorite scenes of this movie. So now let's go with the reviews that people gave to this movie when it was, on its prime, when it was on its prime, and let's go see because I haven't read this. I don't even know. The only reception rates that I could get about this movie, X-Men 2, X-Men United, is on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 85% of positive reviews out of almost 250 to 49 reviews, which is almost like a 90% of positive reception, positive reviews. So what do you think? Do you like this movie? Was it one of your favorites of these years? And I don't know, what do you think about the reception the movie had? Which one do you think is better, the first one or the second one or the third one? You can also comment if you like the third one. And also, which is your favorite character of all the mutants? From my part, that's it. I hope to see you on the next time. And please, if you reached till this point of the video, don't hesitate subscribing, leaving your thumbs up, and sharing it wherever you want to. Bye.